Hello everyone, it's Miss Sherry along with Miss Mary behind the camera
Hi guys.
from the Dakota Prairie Museum in Aberdeen with another history moment. Normally we're going out to various third grade classrooms during April and sharing one of our most popular programs of the year, Extreme Weather on the Prairie. Since school is not in session, we thought we would share a few of the highlights of this program with you and your families and anyone else that likes to learn about history. Today's lesson is truly extreme. We're going to talk about the most rain, a big flood, the driest years ever or drought, and finally the biggest hailstone ever. And yes, it all happened in South Dakota. First, flooding. There are a lot of people around that will never forget the night of May 5th, 2007. The area had gotten several other rainstorms for the past 2 weeks, so the creeks and sewer systems were already full. But it started raining about 6 p.m. that night, and the rain kept coming and coming, something that the Weather Service calls training. It falls over the same area and doesn't move. By the time the storm was finally done, Aberdeen received 7.62 inches of rain in just a few hours. And even then, a lot of people didn't realize just how bad it was until the next day when they could see big parts of Aberdeen and the surrounding area had water standing. This picture was taken looking north on State Street and 15th Avenue Northeast. So many homes were damaged that the National Guard was called in to help with the cleanup effort. It easily beat the other highest rainfall records. The next closest year for a big rainstorm was way back in 2000 with only 3.75 inches, which is still a lot of rain to come down all at once. Do you have a rain gauge at your home? If you do, you can keep track of how much it rains and keep your own records. What's the opposite of too much rain? Drought. It's a time when we don't get enough rain, and when the wind blows, it picks up the topsoil and carries it around for miles. Like on this top picture, during the winter, that would be a blizzard of snow and wind. But during the 1930s, when this photo was taken, that's dirt flying around in the wind. The other photo shows, after the windstorm, how the dirt would settle against anything upright, like a fence line or even buildings. During the Dust Bowl, the Dirty 30s, 300 million tons of black topsoil blew off the Great Plains to places as far east as Washington, D.C. The plowed land had no plants with roots to hold the soil down. Dust storms cause the day to turn black as night. If you look carefully at the date and time of this photo, it was taken in Watertown, South Dakota at 3 p.m. That's in the afternoon. But there was so much dirt in the air that the streetlights were on and the cars had to drive with their headlights on. The Dust Bowl years, the 1930s, weren't the driest years in Aberdeen. Actually, the driest year on record was 1976, with 7.69 inches of rain or snow for the entire year. We received almost that amount the night of the big rain in 2007. We've all seen some big hailstones, but the biggest hailstone ever recorded by the National Weather Service fell right here in South Dakota, but not Aberdeen, in a small town called Vivian, which is south of Pierre. It fell July 23rd, 2010, and still holds the record for the biggest hailstone in the entire United States. Some people were in their house during the storm when all of a sudden they heard a boom, then another, and this huge hailstone dropped to the floor of their kitchen. And they could look up and see the sky where the stone fell through the roof, the attic floor, the ceiling of the first floor, right onto the kitchen floor. Each time it hit structure, part of the hailstone was chipped away. Even after all of that, it weighed almost 2 pounds and measured 8 inches. The family was very smart. They took a picture of it with a ruler, wrapped it up very well, and put it in their freezer. After the storm, they contacted the Weather Service and gave them the hailstone for study, and they still hold the record today. If you find yourself out during crazy weather, be sure you find a safe place for you and your family. Another history moment from the Dakota Prairie Museum, Aberdeen, South Dakota.